Hey, the internet, y'all got us all the way up. We met that dude, Duke the Jeweler, the night before. We was gambling. The next day, dude followed us to the concert. When we left out the concert, we under the garage. Dude went to his car by himself and walked down to the parking lot. That's when somebody tried to kill him.
He's the one that's tied to the dude that makes the loaded dice. Right? Check the play out. All entertainers, when you go to Houston, stay away from J. Prince Jr. A whole play going on. Here go the play right here. The play is a loaded dice.
Blood-stained dice clacked against that velvet table like a silent warning, cold, smooth, and deadly. Everybody in that room was grinning like it was just another rich night in the city, flexing diamonds and fake loyalty. But don't get it twisted, that wasn't love in the air, it was the stench of betrayal. The moment Duke the Jeweler walked into that setup, the game was already rigged. He didn't roll and broke, nah. He came through shining, laced up in his usual ice. But what he didn't see coming was the pack of snakes wearing masks, smiling in his face while plotting behind his back. That night, only one man wasn't walking out of there, and everybody else knew it.
Man, Lord,
You supposed to be mad.
man, about to drop it. Oh, you mad? Oh,
That nigga gonna have $1,000
Now there's blood all over Mob T.I.'s hands, and the feds, they're circling like vultures smelling death in the air. Let's get one thing straight, Duke wasn't robbed, he was executed. Point blank, period. This wasn't no sloppy street, job by some masked up nobodies. Nah, this hit was clean, calculated, and carried out by people who were just showing Duke fake love minutes earlier. He had just walked away from Boosie's dice game, pockets fat, jewelry intact, energy cool. And the same dudes that were dapping him up like brothers, they flipped the script fast. One moment it was handshakes and smiles, next thing you know, it was cold stares and colder intentions. This was a setup from the jump, and now the whole room stinks of betrayal.
Go through a hard time but never gave up. I stayed tough, even when I got my chain stuck. Go through hard time, but we know that what made us. Can't blame us, we love the script cause that what paid us. Yeah, ain't gonna ask, I know them niggas laid off. I call King like get the passion going where I'm on. I can't even find me know how many nights I'm staying up.
Now that same shady crowd, they're stuck under the federal spotlight, hot, exposed, and squirming. And just when things couldn't get messier, 50 Cent jumps in like gasoline on fire. He's not staying quiet, nah. He's reposting receipts, old clips, whispers from the streets, and he's dropping slick little hints like a man who already knows the whole damn truth. 50 is not just throwing shade, he's turning up the heat, playing internet detective while making sure I stays glued to this mess. When Fifth starts moving like this, you already know somebody about to get exposed.
Went to his car or something, some dude tried to rob him. Some dudes tried to rob him. See, some dudes that tried to rob me had walked off by himself, bro. I had just met dude yesterday. Just try to rob dude, dude must ain't get up.
Spokesman Flight Jack, we're number 2 for departure, flight attendants, please bear the captain.
Just met.
What takes this from messy to straight up movie script is the eerie DJ Vu, because just 2 weeks before Takeoff got gunned down at a dice game turned deadly, Duke was out here flossing hard at a J Prince JRB event too. Baby, that ain't no random fluke, that's a chilling pattern unfolding right in front of our eyes.
He was in a garage. He must have walked outside to the parking lot. We was in the garage. We heard the but it like they was far away in the parking lot. Must have went to his car or something, bro. Dude was finna make a piece for him, too. Hey.
And it all circles back to one brutal, ice-cold truth. When the wrong dude starts stacking chips at the table, the snakes don't slither, they strike. Now the whole Mob T.I.'s crew is getting grilled under a scorching spotlight. Boosie, J Prince JRB, Lil Kim, nobody is slipping through untouched.
They're inviting me. Act like you cover for them, hanging out, everything is cool. Let's go here, let's go there, let's go here, let's go there. He introduces the dice game. He got 3 right, who rotate the dice. Now these dice is loaded. Tell me it's a Wolf, Big Caprice, and watch this, and Little Cam are the loaded dice rotators, right? He said what? There was a situation that occurred that a certain jeweler round and got past the dice on accident and was hitting on them for a couple hundred. They got irritated about that. I ain't gonna go too far into that story because, right, boom. The only way they could get their money back was however money back. He said, but Lil Cam, Wolf, and Big Caprice are the 3 designated to say I'm up, I got the next, and they passed the dice to each other, but they loaded,
What started as low-key whispers in the streets has now exploded into an all-out war zone. But how the hell did it spiral this far out of control? Let's rip the curtain wide open, because what seemed like just another dice game might have been a setup from the very beginning. From the outside, Duke was living that boss life, Chicago bred, self-made, built his ice empire with hustle and grit. But baby, even diamonds can't shield you when the whole room flips deadly in a heartbeat.
I gotta do my research, see what jeweler might have been down there shooting ice. But nevertheless, to all the entertainers, you know, Dukes of Hazzard was one of my favorite shows, right? I don't know if y'all watched it. I was thinking about Daisy Dukes for a reason. I don't know why I said that. You know, one might go with it, may not go with it, but I don't know. If the math is math, and let it math. But entertainers, beware. Oh, with J Prince Jr., when he talked about let's go shoot some dice. Because the loaded dice crew is 3 Lil Cam, Wolf, and Big Caprice. We know Lil Cam in there because I believe somehow, some way, caught up in the dice situation. Rest in peace, Takeoff. I don't know what's going on. But what I do know this, J Prince Jr. got a whole thing that when y'all come into town, hold on, bro. Didn't they say Fifth Ward earlier that day shooting dice?
Yep, that's a fact. That word been out, Wet. That word been out. We been had that memo.
And then, so I've been getting hit all day, and it got to the point that the thing, Quavo like, that into dice. That's what this nigga J Prince Jr., boy, these niggas got all kind of shit going on down there. They said, he said the jeweler nigga got past the dice. He didn't even know the motherfuckers was loaded. He just think he hit. These niggas is mad as a motherfucker. Cause they like, nigga, how you pass this nigga the loaded dice?
Duke wasn't just out here hustling iced out pendants to any SoundCloud rapper with a mixtape and a dream, nah. He was in the big leagues, making custom masterpieces for listers with real money and real clout. His name has serious weight in the industry, and he didn't roll into Houston just to chill. This was business, heavy business. Word on the street, Boosie himself hit up Duke to talk custom work. So Duke rolled out, $1 million Louis duffel in hand, packed with that heat, his finest creations, ready to secure a massive deal. But what Duke didn't know, that trip would be his final chess move. Game over. Now let's zoom in on the dice game that flipped everything upside down. Leaked audio straight from Whack 100 Raw, unfiltered street talk says this wasn't no casual dice night. It was a setup, plain and dirty. And at the center, J Prince JRB, who's now being tied to what folks are calling a loaded dice trap. Same three faces always front and center: Little Cam, Big Capri, and Wolf. These dudes pass the dice around like it's some secret coded ritual, rigging the game to make sure the house never loses. Unless someone slips. And that night, somebody definitely slipped. Wax says Duke wasn't supposed to win. They fed him tricked out dice meant to drain his pockets. But Duke, he flipped the damn table. Hit after hit, his stacks kept growing. Hundreds turned to racks, then tens of thousands fast. And when someone exposes a rigged game, the folks running it don't just get mad, they get scared. Let's be clear, money was on the line, big money. Sources say J Prince JRB allegedly takes a fat 30% cut off every dice night haul. So when Duke started clearing the board, that wasn't luck. That was a threat to everything they were protecting. And Duke, he wasn't low-key about it either. Nah, he was loud, proud, and lit up like a damn chandelier. Flashing stacks, dripping in diamonds, filming the whole flex for the gram like he was untouchable. But then, things got weird, real eerie. Freeze frame that footage, and if you pause at the exact moment, something subtle but chilling goes down. Boosie whistles real soft, almost nothing, but his nephew immediately turns and locks eyes on Duke. Then, a man in a red hoodie taps the nephew's arm like a secret go ahead, and that's when the entire energy in that room shifts. Like everybody just got the same message: playtime's over. The whole vibe flips like that one moment Duke's all laughs, throwing dice, living it up. The next, you can feel the air go cold. A countdown you didn't even know started is already ticking down, and just minutes later Duke's gone. Not by chance, not by freak accident. Gone like the scene was already written. That kind of tension, you can't stage it. It ain't paranoia. It's that gut deep instinct that hits when you step into a room where everybody's already made up their minds and you're the odd man out. And the worst part, Duke didn't see a damn thing coming. Still thinking this was just some unlucky night at the table? Then tell me this, why would a millionaire like Boosie invite a man rocking over $1 million custom drip to a dice game full of shady energy and not even have basic security posted? And what about J Prince JRB, the Houston boss known for moving heavy? Why didn't he have protection lined up for an out-of-towner carrying serious heat? Let's rewind to when Duke left that dice game. No bodyguards, no crew, no car waiting. Just Duke, alone, walking through a dark Houston parking lot after flexing millions in cash and diamonds. Sound off to you? It should, because what went down next ain't just sketchy, it's dark. Minutes later, gunshots. Duke gets ambushed and shot dead. But this is where it really stops sounding like a robbery gone wrong. Nothing was touched, no chains missing, no stacks grabbed. Duke was found still iced out in every piece he wore on stage next to Boosie just hours earlier. So, what kind of thief walks away from millions in jewelry? Exactly. Now hold up, because here comes the bombshell that Louis Vuitton duffel Duke brought with him. The one loaded with rare unreleased customs. It didn't vanish. Nope, it popped up inside Boosie's own house. Yeah, sit with that. Houston PD confirmed it. So maybe, just maybe, Duke handed it over to Boosie for safekeeping mid-game. Or maybe, Boosie ended up with it after the trigger got pulled. Either way, here's the cold fact. The bag made it home. Duke didn't. And when the questions started flying, Boosie hopped on IG Live from a plane, voice shaky, trying to brush it all off, saying he barely even knew Duke. Said Duke just walked off. But wait, didn't Boosie say Duke was making him a custom chain? So how you barely knew him, but invited him to a private dice game? Let him walk off into the night alone, draped in 7 figures of ice? Yeah, none of that adds up. And when Boosie tried to clean it up, he didn't sound convincing, he sounded scared. Not the look of a man with clean hands, pale, shaky, dodging his own words like they were bullets. That wasn't fear of the public. That was the sweat of someone who knows the walls are closing in. And baby, it gets even uglier. The feds, they were already clocking Boosie for other legal mess, but after Duke's murder, they zeroed in. They carved out a fresh, separate federal investigation just for this. No delays, no blending it in with past charges. This case jumped to the front of the line, and the feds came in hot. First move, they ran Duke's phone. And guess where his last ping came from? Boosie's recording studio. Unless that phone sprouted legs and waltzed there by itself, someone in Boosie's circle took it. And they didn't even try to be slick, didn't smash it, didn't wipe it, just powered it off cold. That kind of dumb boldness, it energizes federal agents. Then came the next bomb, Duke's rental car. Forensics pulled up DNA matches from Boosie's nephew and cousin. inside his car. What were they doing in Duke's rental? What business did they have there? And right when you think the twists are done, boom, a witness steps forward, said they were outside, minding their business, just smoking, when they saw Duke walk into his car that night, alone, calm. Then, out of the shadows, Boosie's nephew emerges like he was waiting. That's when the energy flipped. Duke must have felt it. Witness says he swung first, tried to defend himself, fought hard, but it was too late. One quick move, and Boosie's nephew allegedly pulled the trigger. No robbery, no mess, just one. Cold goal, eliminate him. And get this, they didn't even pretend to stage a robbery. They didn't care about optics, because it wasn't about cash, it was about silence. And that Louis Vuitton bag, they didn't ditch it, they kept it. That's not sloppy, that's calculated arrogance. The kind that dares you to say something. And who's been quietly watching all this play out? 50 Cent, always observing, always 2 steps ahead. Because anyone in the game knows when you hit Houston, you better check in. It's not a contract, not on paper, but it's understood. Rappers, influencers, athletes, they all know the drill. Check in with J Prince JRB and mob TIs or risk chaos. But here's the chilling part. What happens when the people you're told to check in with are the ones setting you up? Let's not act brand new. J Prince JRB hosted the dice game where Duke was killed. Same J Prince JRB who hosted the dice game where Takeoff lost his life. So now the question's real. If J Prince JRB runs Houston like he claims, then why do people keep ending up dead after checking in on his watch? Even Whack 100 couldn't hold back, called it a scam ring. Said J Prince JRB plays the same move every time, invite the artist, play Big Brother, act all love, then slide them into a rigged dice game where his crew's already locked and loaded. It ain't a party, it's a trap. And the streets, oh, they're talking loud now. Quiet shifts turning into full-on moves. Artists backing out, labels pulling events. Houston, it's starting to feel toxic. And 50 Cent, he's pressing the gas, reposting shady clips, dropping captions that hit like warnings. He's not being subtle, he's exposing it all. Some say he's poking the bear. Others, they think he's the only one brave enough to call out what the rest are too scared to whisper. And Boosie, word is he's spiraling. Full-blown panic mode, the feds ain't playing games. They're not tossing this into Boosie's old gun case pile. Nope, Duke's case has its own separate federal spotlight now, and the agents are going deep. They're tearing through Boosie's houses, following his money moves, and yes, even watching his son's online activity. But baby, buckle up, because this next part is pure chaos. Allegedly, Boosie's own girlfriend spilled some piping hot tea, told someone that the night Duke died, Boosie came running back into the house looking like he'd seen a ghost, nervous, like he had something to hide. But out here, he's still fronting like he knows nothing. Same tired script. I don't know what happened, please. And now the real question haunting the industry is if Boosie goes down, who's going down with him? Because let's be honest, Boosie don't move solo. His nephews, cousins, they're always in the mix. And now his name is tangled up tight with J Prince JRB, who's already been in hot water ever since Takeoff's murder shook the culture. The lines are blurring fast, and all roads lead back to one dice table. And just when you think it can't get any more insane, boom, Finesse 2 times steps into the mess. Yep, the same rapper that mob TIs used to push heavy. This man was shouting out J Prince JRB like he was family, but now he can barely say the dude's name. Something shifted, and even though no one's talking straight, the noise is loud. At first, it looked subtle. Finesse just stopped showing up. No more concerts, no backstage chilling, no more studio hangs. Then the rumors started. Apparently, it all unraveled because of a woman. But not just any woman, his baby mama. Word on the street, she and her mom allegedly lined him up, called the law, and got him bagged for a probation violation. And guess who came to the rescue? J Prince Sr. himself. A few powerful calls later, and poof, Finesse was back out in less than 2 weeks. You think he'd be loyal after that, right? Wrong. Instead of cutting off the woman who played him, Finesse ran right back to her. That was the final straw. Senior wasn't having it. He hit Twitter and let it all out. No subliminals, no filters. He said it with his whole chest, told the homie to stay the F away from that woman if he valued his life. That wasn't advice. That was a warning. He kept going, saying, y'all better stop thinking these women got your best interests. And just when you thought it couldn't spiral harder, boom, the whispers turned sinister. Rumors started flying that J Prince JRB might have gotten Finesse's girl pregnant. Is it confirmed? Not yet. But the fact that people believe it and Finesse hasn't shut it down, that silence is deafening. Some fans brushed it off as gossip. Others, they're connecting the dots. Because this ain't just about Finesse. Look at the pattern Takeoff's family's beef with J Prince JRB, his weird tension with Boosie, and now this drama with Finesse. One by one, his relationships are going up in flames. And now people are asking the real question, how many bridges can J Prince JRB burn before the whole empire crumbles? Because when your power comes from fear, silence, and calculated moves, it only takes one voice, one flip, one exposed secret for the whole empire to collapse like a cheap tent. So now the streets are buzzing who's gonna break first. Will Boosie crack under pressure and finally spill? Will Finesse snap and tell all? Or will 50 Cent, who's been on a one-man mission to expose mob TIs, push J Prince JRB to do the unthinkable flip to save himself? One thing's for sure, the downfall already started. And those quiet whispers, they're turning into federal hard knocks. Behind the scenes, agents are closing in strategic, surgical. Boosie's Baton Rouge mansion under review. That land in Georgia being checked. Every dollar, every transaction traced. This ain't just pressure, it's a firestorm. And let's be real, this ain't just about Boosie anymore. J Prince JRB is deep in the crosshairs too. Artists are ghosting, labels canceling deals. Nobody wants to be tied to what's looking like Rico energy. And here comes the knockout word is Duke's killer might have been caught on camera. That's right, video footage. All it takes is one person to leak that clip to TMZ, to the feds, and it's game over. If you've been riding with this wild saga, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think will speak first? And make sure you send this to someone who's been watching all this madness play out. Cause trust me, this story, far from over. See you on the next one.